Invictus, my kings, and welcome back to another Total War Rome 2 Empire Divided Gallic Rome playthrough part. Yes, and we pick up right where we left off. The conquest of Britannia is going nicely, and so our little army at Stanwick can march on towards Eildon. No opposition. The entirety of the Caledonians have given up the fight. We have crushed their armies. We can raise the settlement. And are there any Caledonians left? They do have some fleets dotted around here and there. There's a little bit of an army here with the queen, so let's quickly dispatch them and let's enslave. They thought their little try at independence was gonna go over well, but it didn't. In the end, they have paid the ultimate price, and we can now embark on the conquest of Albana. We can move our forces and eventually land here outside of Albana, and then we will take the city by storm. Indeed. Eildon is it's a tannery, so we can construct. Actually, we could construct the Procurator's Villa over here. That would be very beneficial. But the Caledonians are basically done for. There's no threat or any possibility of a threat coming from them. So let's not go over that way. Let's instead go this way. It's this way, and then what the hell. But let's use this army and march towards the army, the Legio for Minerva, and join up them with Legio 5 Invicta. Yes, indeed. But as we dot around, nothing much to do. I think I will see you when we are ready for some more action. Alright, here we are outside of Albana. Let's march forward, declare war. They have no allies. Very nice. And let's have a nice, good old, fair and square siege battle. Alright, here we are on the battlefield. Same map as last time, basically. No real differences at all. But let's set up the same army, in fact. Yeah, same army as the last battle, but you can tell by the mercenary Highland archers. But yeah, same sort of idea. Nothing too fancy. Let's just go ahead with the deployment. They still have some forces that are coming via sea, but not a whole lot of them. We could have assaulted right down the middle, but this will be a much more interesting fight going through the flanks like this. I think it'll be a little more exciting, a little more of a choke point. Let's see how well they put up a fight. We could even go around with some units, a little bit of detachment if they prove too much of a worthy foe, but we can set a detachment of 4 legionary units, 4 Gallic legionaries going to oppose the landing of their, what are they? Assault Raiders Celtic Sword Band. Yes, we can send some of our units over there, and we can even we can send our units over there. That's all. That's all we're gonna do. Nothing too fancy. Really nothing out of the ordinary here. Let's see, they have some Celtic archers. I think they're basically the same as our mercenary Highland archers. They don't seem too different. But let's get stuck in right away. Let's send our Gallic legionaries forward. Very nice volley of Pila, and here we go, getting stuck in there. Their precursor javelins, they didn't have the time to fire them off. But here we go, our let's see about, actually they went around us. I completely forgot to check this side of the battlefield. But let's send our units like so. Let's send these guys there, and let's send these guys around. This Celtic sword band, the enemy Celtic sword band really went around us. But here we are exchanging javelin fire with the enemy, and let's actually send up some reinforcements. We should win this fight fairly easily. Our units are just so much better, so much more better, more better. They are the best. No, but our soldiers genuinely are better than their units. So we should have a little bit of an easier. Oh, that volley of Pila was devastating. But our units are generally better. We even have a level 2 armor and weapons upgraded. So our unit should have a little bit of an easier time munching through the Celts, the Celtic sword bands and the Celtic levies and the like than the enemy has. We have a little bit of an easier time in this battle compared to the enemy. Here we have completely surrounded the Celtic war band, or is it the sword band? It's a Celtic sword band. Yes, once they dismount their Celtic sword band, we have completely annihilated them. They have nowhere to run. Routing, crushed. There we go. We can now send these armies off to the side through the flanks. Let's send them like this and then like this. And there we go. Send them like this and no, send them like this and then like this. Okay. Well, whatever. Well, they'll get there when they get there. They have the general idea of where they're supposed to go. So let's let them go there. But here we see a massive battle in the middle. Our units are slowly but surely grinding through the enemy. They're activating their Celtic sword bands. We have routed some of their Celtic spearmen. The Celtic spearmen, generally early game unit. I see that the Celts and the Germans, the Germans and the Celts both are using they're fairly early game units still, even though it's way past that point in the game itself. In the campaign, it's way past the early game, yet they still are running around with early game units, which is a little bit of a strange thing to behold. But we should keep up with our main force, with the skirmisher force. We should send them as support. The mercenaries, they've done a relatively good job. Unfortunately for us, we don't have any good archers in our services. As Gallic Rome, we really do not have any good archers. We have some skirmishers, and that's basically about it. But here we can surround the enemy from two sides. Let's send them some reinforcements, and we have managed to surround the enemy with our forces. Yes, there we go. They've even activated their chariots, with their general, I think. So we can just go forward. Surge on forward and deal with the enemy threat. And I'm running at 2 times speed because, yeah, there we go. It's a victory. It is a victory. There we go. It was a decisive victory. We lost 322 units, but we killed 2,423. Let's raise the settlement. And let's be done with these. The Abdani have been crushed. Albana is now fully Roman. And let's turn this into a farming settlement, actually, because why not? We haven't gained a rank, but let's disband the mercenaries because they cost quite a bit of upkeep and we don't need them anymore. Let's get some cohorts over here for the Emperor's army. And yeah, there we go. That was the conquest of Britannia. And now let's turn our eyes towards, let's upgrade these settlements, and let's turn our eyes back towards Germania, where we are stationing troops ready to go against the Vandali, or the Vandals more rather. And these two armies, these two legions, Legio 4 and Legio 4 Minerva, Legio 5 Invicta, will go around and capture the territory of the Lugi. or the province of Lugi, just so that we have a safe flank. There are no further well, factions onto the side over here going into modern day Poland and Russia. There are no factions at all over that way, so we will have a covered flank, and the north as well. The north and the east will be firmly secured in our grasp, and then we can move towards the southern bits. We can go against the Goths, go against the Roxolani, and recapture what has been lost in the Balkans. Obviously, our little puppet Hispania Superior is doing a famous job, absolutely wonderful job. However, they have managed to lose Carthage and Hadrumentum. We managed to lose these two cities. However, they are making counterattack. At Capsa, they have started their little counterattack, so we'll see how it goes. They do have some forces here laying around, so we'll see what they come up with. If they don't manage to make a comeback, then I will ultimately have to, after the recapture of the Balkans, I'll have to go down and capture Africa myself. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully they manage to finish off, whatever you want to say. Finish off the Numidians, not the Numidians, what are they, the Maori. Hopefully they manage to finish them off, just so I don't have to bother coming down with all of my units. No, not that. Actually, what does the Frumentari do even? Commerce, tax rate, nothing all that interesting, so let's not bother with that. Let's instead build an auditorium over here, and let's move forward. Let's move forward in the campaign. And as you can see, Yadera is still held by the Aurelian Romans, and now it has been lost and is now held by the Goths. The Balkans are an absolute mess. It has truly Balkanized, and well, that's not necessarily a very good sight now, is it? Alright, here we go. It's spring, so we should get ready to make a move against the Vandals. Let's just upgrade our cavalry and let's attack the Vandals. They have no allies. Very good, very good. Let's move forward. Oh, we see a little bit of an army over here, so let's reinforce with the other legion, and let's absolutely crush the opposing force. Raise the settlement. We have gained another rank in Imperium, which is very nice. Let's actually build. Should we? Let's just do the standard stuff. No reason to experiment at all. And have we gained ranks at all here? Let's check. No, we haven't gained ranks with our legions, but that doesn't matter. We can just move forward and go towards Carodunum. Yes, indeed, that'll be just fine. Oh, we can set some edicts. Very nice. So let's just do Britannia, since we have just conquered the place. It'll be only fitting to set some edicts over here. And let's move forward with the campaign. Our armies that were taking care of Britannia are now back on the march towards the Marcomanni. They will be our next target. The Caledonia are still flailing around, not entirely sure what the objective that they have is, but and we go see Hispania Superior has recaptured Carthage, Carthago. Let's see how long that actually stays. The Vandali are asking for peace. Absolutely not. We will crush them. Send these guys away. We will absolutely dominate all of our opposition to our little imperial expansion. And oh, we can see that the Lugi still not happy, so let's not tax the province, and let's let them be a little happy for a while. The army of the emperor still at sea, but it should move towards Norea. Or was it Norea? Yes, Norea. So it should move towards Norea, and the army Legio 1 Equestris it should upgrade its cavalry first of all, but it should also move towards Norea. Let's send these guys over there, and then let's also march them towards Norea, like so. And that should be that for this turn. Fairly straightforward. No ifs, ors, or buts about anything. We can just march straight forward. The the agent of the Caledonia is moving up and down the the Welsh countryside. I guess he's taking a little bit of a vacation. The Vandals are now sending some agents against us. The one thing that I really dislike about Rome 2 is the agent spam that you see constantly. But let's see. Failed bribery attempt. Very nice. So our units have they have resisted the urge to betray Rome for gold. Let's see if that attitude holds up. Can we now tax the province? We can tax the province. Very nice. Very nice. Let's just set all the things in order. There we go. And the armies that are moving towards Norea, they should be getting there fairly shortly. The army of the Empire is still quite a ways away, but that should be there pretty soon. I'm gonna wait for the task force to reassemble, the Britannian task force to reassemble itself, and then we can move on towards the Marcomanni. It's gonna be quite the fight. The Marcomanni, actually, they aren't that big. No, it just looks like it on the map because their provinces are large. But they have Norea, they have Budorgis, and they have Aquincum. Oh, and they also have Siscia, whatever, however you pronounce that. The war against the Goths is going to be a little tougher, I think, because they have territory stretching from Olbia through Odysseus to Apollonia Pontica. Oh, the Marcomanni also have Thessalonica. Very nice. They also have Pharsalus. So even Greece itself has been turned into a land of barbarism. Very interesting. But we will march towards Norea, and the armies that are now taking care of Carmedunum can then turn south. And deal with the territory that's still left over from the Marcomanni towards the north over there. So it's going to be a very swift campaign against the Marcomanni. In fact, let's ahead of time. Actually, maybe no. Let's just betray them. Why not? They deserve it. They and their ilk have destroyed civilization itself far too many times. Let's raise a settlement. Caridunum is now ours. Vandali have been forced into the dust. We have a bit of a whatchamacallit, a mining settlement over here, lead mine settlement. Very nice, very useful, good for money making. And let's upgrade our army. This is a fresh army, so it doesn't have anything yet. Research rate's very good. Cunning is pretty good. There we go. And these armies over here, probably this army, Legio for Minervia, in fact, Minervia. Could we go towards Istros instead? Let's see, Bergium. It might be easier now because there's a river. See, it won't be. If this army over here, can they move like so? Yes, they can. Okay, so let's make the move towards Kalinkorum, and then from there we'll march towards Budorgis. That's still a little bit of ways away. We're still only on the move. Only marching towards our goals, still haven't reached them quite yet. I'm now researching expanded tent tactical exercises to get Colonia the Armorer and the weaponsmith to level 3, and then we'll have strategic maneuvers, which is plus 15% experience gain for all units, gain rate for all units, which is going to be extremely useful. Our units are already relatively well experienced, but in combination with the armor and the weaponsmith, and in combination with the extra experience, is going to make our units quite fearsome on the battlefield. Yes, indeed. But I think the battle over Noria and Budorgis is going to be basically something for the next part, Kings. It's going to be something that's upcoming in the next part. And in this part we have managed to capture Arsinium and Caridunum, and we have managed to go to war. We have managed to finalize the capture of Britannia. Well, anyway, I want to thank you, Kings, for watching, and I will see you next time.